Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications from when you post videos or go live, tap the bell. And if you want to join the UVH fam, links are below to the Discord, Patreon, and Facebook options trading group on Facebook. Everything, everything's free. We don't charge for Discord or anything. Just want to see you in there if you want to connect with us. We're pretty much in there all day, every day. Sorry I can't be live today. I actually had to go somewhere this afternoon, but I wanted to do a trade recap and kind of explain, because mentally I think that I'm in a good place in terms of trading. Over the last few weeks, I've been doing a lot of things I would say that are experimental, that necessarily haven't panned out. But this week I've been really being disciplined and taking profits and sticking to what I believe the stock is going to do. And today it worked out. Right now, I'm not sure where we're going to close. Dow was down over 200 at one point. We're at 190. S&Ps are down 10, and Nasdaq's down 75. We're getting a little bit of a bounce here. But to go through my trades here, I'm up about 180 in realized gains. I'm 5 for 5 for my day trades today, so I have a 100% success rate. So time to step away. Not a bad time to plus it's getting in the afternoon. I was actually just trading same day expiration as well. So when you get into the later half of the day, things get the risk increases a lot, because you have theta, and then you have lately in the afternoons there hasn't been like a lot of stock movement, but I'm up 180 in realized profit today. Kind of getting a little hurt on my swing trades, CGC, GS, and IBM. Which brought down the value today. But in terms of in terms of day trades, we are 5 for 5. So I'm going to kind of go through that, starting with Netflix. Netflix, I did swing trade. Let me actually pull that up here. I'm shaking my head. So yesterday I had 2 back-to-back swing trades, and over the last couple of days, like today and yesterday, I've been very happy about my discipline, taking profits 20-30%, not letting the runners go. I mean, you can, but I find that when the stock market is flat and you're hitting 20-30%, risk increases enormously. So today is one of those days that you could have let it run. And in this case, I had a small position. I bought the 285 put yesterday on Netflix. I bought the 285 put, and then it opened 2 minutes into open. I was up 20% on that. I was down 50% on it yesterday. I'm up 20% in profit today. So when you have when you have a swing like that, in my mind, I'm automatically thinking, okay, take the money, right? Because think about it this way: it's expiring today. I was down half on it yesterday. I'm up 20% on it today, even though it was a small trade. You're like, oh, it was a small amount of risk. But, in principle, it doesn't matter how much money you're risking. It matters what percentage you're up or down, right? So, because we're all going to have different account sizes. Everyone trades, some people might have a $100 account. Some people have a $100,000 account. There's a bunch of different people, a bunch of different traders in the UVH fam. So, trading percentage-wise is how you stay consistent over time. And I was down 50% on Netflix, came back around when I was 20% profit. So I bought it for $1.13, sold it for $1.39. Right now, as we speak, Netflix is $2.74, and we left. Right now, that's worth, what is that worth? I had the 285, $10.50. So we left bags on the table, but in markets like this, when the market goes flat and the market gets a little crazy, I find that it's more about consistency. Sure, you're going to have big P&L days. Sure, you can let your winners run, but I find that over the course of time, you may have one big day, but then when you try to do this again multiple times, when you're trying to shoot for 50, 100, 400%, and where the markets are flat and they're not really working out, it's going to cost you all your gains on a day like today. So I find that it's easier for me just to be consistent day in, day out than rather shoot for, this is like 1,000%, I mean, not 1,000%, but it's 10 times more than what I paid for it. So, in that case, you kind of feel bad, but at the same time, you also feel good because, hey, you stayed disciplined, you came out with a profit, you had a loss, and Netflix came out. So as you can see, Netflix. The reason why I took it is because Netflix was really kind of being on edge here at open. If we go to the 5-minute, chart this morning, it wanted to push up, it came down to 287, then pushed back up to 290. So it was really trying to make a decision. It did make a decision, but at that point, I didn't want to. You don't want options to go to zero. I mean, when I come on here to the live stream and I say, hey, I could have took a profit. I was down 50%. I could have took a profit, and this ripped back up to 295, and my option goes to zero. I mean, how does that? I mean, one thing that I like about YouTube and you guys is it makes me stay accountable in terms of my trading. I don't try to get too crazy. When a trade works out like that, when you're down that much and it comes back, you take the money. I mean, I thought maybe it had 285 in it today, and it just kept dropping, But I had 3 good trades in a row on that bad boy. So QQQ, my initial target, actually set it today in Discord. So as you guys know, I do post my trades in Discord here. So QQQ. So I do post my trades in Discord, not for you guys to copy, but more for being accountable, because I think that as a YouTuber and being on here, I need to stay accountable. So I just want to show you what my goals were for QQQ. That was yesterday. Okay, target is the 192.75 area. And I put QQQ, I bought that at 30 cents, sold it for 35 cents. So I took the 20% and, came out clean. 846, I got in, 907 got out. So 846, I was right here, right before the fall. I mean, yeah, we're leaving a lot of money on the table. I mean, those puts, I had the 193 puts, I sold them for 35. But you just never know in this market. You just never know. Right now they're going. I sold them for 35 cents. They're now $1. How high do these guys go? So we left a lot of money on the table today. Yeah, I mean, I caught the bottom pretty good. Bottom for like 30 cents. These went up to 225 today. But now we're losing value even though they are 95 cents. So there was a lot of opportunity. But like I said, I'm very happy that I stayed disciplined. Small profits add up over time, whether you're risking $10 or $1,000. Small profits add up. Small percentage gains add up over time. And, my target was 192.75 because this morning we were relatively flat. And then on the 907, on the first big candle, I took profits because I was up like 20%. So not a big gainer there. I didn't risk a lot. I only risked like $60. So it was a small trade, but I risked $90, so I had 3 of them. I had 3 contracts. Again, would have been a big winner, but you play with fire. You play with fire, you get burned. I did have an 80% gain on LRCX. So LRCX, is a chip stock, and I bought them at 31 cents. I only bought 2, and I sold them for 53 cents. And this one caught it pretty nice. This was my first time ever trading this. I know that they traded quite a bit. FC and Victoria traded quite a bit in our Discord. Figured I'd give it a shot. The reason why I gave it a shot is because Nvidia was falling apart, but LRCX was really lagging, and it came down to 232.50, and it bounced back up. So I put a position on at 924, which was right in this area, because I thought, okay, it bounced back up. Looks like it wants to fade back down to 232.50. I'll take the 20-30% and get out. And it was kind of toying with me. I put the position on, and it tried to go up to 236. Just couldn't do it. I was able to get out at 10.50 on this drop right here. So I got out before it actually got down to 232. I got it out. It was like 233.04, 233.15, somewhere up in here. I got out, and we could have made more money again. Like that let's see, I had the 232.50. And they're only going for 34 cents now. I sold them, I bought them for 31 cents, sold them for 53 cents. So we made 80%. You made an 80% gain, pretty nice. But I mean, these went from 9 cents up to 227. I bought them at 31, which was down in here, and I sold them for 53, which was on this, 1050 on this candle right in here. So I bought in here. It came down to like 9 cents, so I was losing some money. And that's why I risked small, because my first time trading it, I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to move, so I didn't really go too big. But it came down to 9 cents, then it went all the way up to 225. I got out at 50 cents because it came back in my favor. I didn't want to, when you're trading expiration Friday, day of expiration, you don't want to take big risks that you could be wrong. Like, you want to take the profits, you want to collect the profits, because as you know, expiration Friday, these go out of the money. They're going to zero, man. They're going to zero. But I was very happy about LRCX. Nice that worked out. As you can see in the video, really fell from 195 down to 187. This was kind of lagging, but now the market's trying to recover, and this is kind of going with it. So I'm trying to learn this stock, because it seems like there's some pretty big percentage gainers there in LRCX. Shout out again, FC and Victoria. Thanks for putting me on that. Another stock that I traded today was Google. So Google, nice gain on Google. I bought the 1247.50 put for $1.25, sold it for $2 within 50 minutes. Now, Google was messing around too. The reason why I picked Google, because I was watching Google and Amazon. Amazon was really getting ripped apart. Amazon was just, as you can see here, Amazon was just came from 1790, and it was just not stopping all the way down to 1770. And then, as you see here, I mean, this was a $40 swing here. But at the time, the reason why I chose Google is it was propped up here on the 1 year chart, getting a little topped out here. It got rejected yesterday at 1263, as you can see right up in here. So on the 1 year chart, it was looking pretty good. The one thing you got to be worried about is when things are lagging, you're not sure if that trade is going to work out today. This trade is a good trade, but you're not sure if that trade is actually going to work out today because it was lagging behind. So when stocks are lagging, a lot of times when stocks are lagging, you can find a good deal. Like in Google, found a great deal today. However, if it's lagging, this could have just stayed flat the rest of the day and then at close drop. Or on Monday finally figured out it wants to drop. Like, they could be lagging behind hours, they could be lagging behind minutes, or they could be lagging behind days where things finally catch up. So on expiration Friday, we didn't have any room for mistakes. So it like LRCX, Google was also pushing me to the limit as well. So I put the position on at 935, which was right in here. It was like trying to break down. I think I put the trade on because it started to break below this support here. So I put it on. It was like 1251, right? So it was like 1251. Put it on, and then all of a sudden it bounces back up to 1255. And looking at Google, these are the money. Yeah, I sold them for $2. They're now going for $3.50. They went a lot higher than that though. I thought it was going to gap fill. I thought that it was going to fill this gap up here. I just didn't know when. Sometimes you just don't know when it's going to work out. But yeah, these went from 45 cents up to $7 today. I mean, just insane. I bought it for $1.25, and I sold at $2. So I missed, when it came up to here. I made what, 70% profit. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's about the execution. You're not going to get the whole thing. I'm just glad that I was able to get a piece of that. But I sold it at 10.45. So on this leg at the start of this candle here, it was 12.49, 12.48. I was a little bit worried that it was going to bounce because Google was still appearing strong. They had this nice little fake out here, try to bounce back up, had this fake out before it finally ripped down. But then these went from, it went from 12.55 all the way down to 12.40. We had a 15-point drop right there within an hour, but I didn't want to risk it, knowing I had limited time today. I'm glad that I got out for $2. But again, it's the days that you're not disciplined, you lose money, and the days that you are disciplined, you find that you leave a ton of money on the table. But overall, I think being disciplined wins in the long term, from my experience at least, And then I had a small gainer on HD. Now HD is a good one, is a good stock to show you that being disciplined does work. So this was another 20% gainer. Bought it for 45 cents, sold it for 55 cents. Bought two of the 237.50s on HD. Now, this would have cost me big. Well, not big. I only bought two contracts for 45 cents, but these are now going for 7 cents. I sold them for 55 cents. So, in this case, being disciplined works. So, you know, if I didn't, this would have cost me some of my profits. This would have cost me all the hard work I put into Google planning the trade. This would have cost me that if I brought it down to zero, of course. But now Home Depot, the market was going down. However, Home Depot was getting pretty strong. I was pretty much playing off this resistance up here. Yesterday hit 238 before dropping down to 236. Today it made another run up to 238. I put the position on at 1057. So right at the start of this candle here, I put it on and I sold it at 1125, which was on this candle right here, right at the end of this candle right in here. So it was around 237.15, and that went as high as 60 cents. I sold it for 55 cents. So I really caught the top here when it went from, you know, 45 cents. So I bought it at 45 cents. So I bought 45 cents. I sold it up here for 55 cents. And this could have easily gone bad. I could have easily been down 50% if I didn't sell right then and there. So that's why being disciplined in this case, like Home Depot, you know, now it's going to be, now that would have cost me money. I would have been down 90%, 95% on that trade, because now it decides to rip, even though it's not really following the S&Ps. It's not really following, but it is following the S&Ps when it's moving up, but when it was moving down, it wasn't following the S&Ps. So, you know, in this case, being disciplined really paid off, because I made money. I didn't lose money on the trade that would have cost me money on the other winning trades. However, if I and that's the thing, you don't know. You have a good feeling, you can read charts, you can do all this stuff, but at the end of the day, the stock's going to do what it wants to do. Sure, I mean, Google looks like an easy gap fill, but do you really want to push your limits when you're trading day of expiration, knowing your trade could go from zero? How would you feel if your trade goes from $2 down to zero? I mean, how do you feel? Like if it bounced right here at 1247, bounced back up to 1255, how would you feel? You know, so, and knowing that you were up 70%, you didn't take it. So that's why I always say, take profits, redeploy capital, baby. Now I'm down a little bit CGC and down a little bit on IBN. I'm down on GS. Now these are swing positions. These are all next week expiration. Going into CGC, the reason why I didn't sell is because I was waiting for it to see what happens around here, like the 1950 area. A couple days ago, it did bounce from this area. It looks like it wants to revisit. And on swing trades, you're not necessarily going to have the timing right. You just kind of have to play it out if you still believe in the trade. If it broke this area like 1950, 1925, I probably would just cut the trade loose and move on. But now it looks like we're having some positive momentum after it bounced off the support area down in here. It's still making higher lows here. So we have till next week, so that's why I kept the trade on for that one. GS is another one kind of bucking the trend today. Is green, even though the market is red. Now ripping back up to here. So right now, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen in this 208 area. Looks like it wants to revisit. I think that's going to go lower. I have the 200 puts for next week. Felt like it was going to get a bit toppy up in here, but it looks like it wants to return here. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this is kind of an ugly chart, I think, for being long. Like I don't think I would be long right here. I would come back down to like the 290, 195 area. And they missed earnings. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Right now the banks are running. Bank of America, I think, is running as well. Yeah, they all look the same in terms of the banks today. JPM's recovering after coming down off their highs yesterday. And then what's the other swing trade? IBM. Now, the thing about IBM, I've traded it before in the past and had some success with it. I don't really trade it. I did trade it after earnings because I do think on the chart here we are going to come back down to 130. Even though it doesn't pan out, IBM is a pretty slow mover, and there's a lot of institutions own IBM, so it doesn't go down that quick. So, you know, it's still lower than it was yesterday, but we'll see what happens. You know, right now it looks fairly strong, even though it's weak on the 1 year. So right now it's still weak on the 1 year. So we'll see what happens. It went from 134 down to 132 today. So I was actually up in that position until recently when it started to bounce back. So we'll see what happens. Maybe if I still believe in the trade, I'll average down the position maybe on Monday, come back to it. You know, so I'm trying to scale in a couple different strategies, not just day trade, swing trade, and pretty soon I'll also be showing you guys. I also will be selling. I also will be selling some premium. Believe it or not, we're going to be selling some premium. So, you know, in realized gain, I'm up 180, down a little bit on the swing trades, but we'll see what happens with that. Hope you guys had you're able to take some things away. If this video was of value to you, hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And if you guys would, let me know who watched to the end. Leave a comment. I watched to the end. I know this was probably a little bit longer video, but I had a lot of ground to cover. And you guys all have a great weekend. We'll be back trading Monday. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.